And we begin CBS 2 News. We begin CBS 2 News at 5 with breaking news. We are over a police
pursuit.
Sorry
if I got a little emotional earlier.
Stu Mundell is live in Sky 2 with more for us. Stu, can you hear us?
ATOC. We're out here. This is right off of Crenshaw. I understand that they're going to roll tape for this crash. The suspect's still not in custody. You can see LAPD down there in force. A female driver of that BMW. Two other suspects armed earlier on. Apparently there was some altercation involving a gun. LAPD there very quickly. They actually saw this people throwing the gun out of the vehicle. These suspects very dangerous. A long pursuit ensued afterwards, winding through a lot of residential streets out here. There were no collisions. A lot of close calls. LAPD got their helicopter in place, and they actually went into tracking mode for a little bit. But when they got to this intersection out here at 48th and Crenshaw, a very different scene. A collision involving that white vehicle right there. LAPD, they're here on scene, weapons out. Right now, that driver of that white car, we saw her try to get out of the car. A female still inside there. Does appear that she is at least moving on her own power. That's really great, but they have to get these suspects, armed suspects, into custody before they even render aid to her. They got one of them going into custody right now. Two others still need to be cuffed, but you have to be really concerned about that woman right there. Minor collision involving that gray car, but she really took the brunt of it this afternoon. Innocent driver just driving on a green through the intersection, and then pow, this accident happened. Right now, LAPD actually expediting, getting closer to the vehicle quicker, actually going to these suspects opposed to making them come to them that we've seen, probably to make sure that that innocent person is going to be able to get the aid that she needs. Again, though, pursuit crash after an armed suspect leads LAPD on pursuit.
Looks like right now, there's only two people that were in that original vehicle, right?
Stu, can you hear us now?
You know what? We're having an issue with the IFB, so I can't hear any of the questions. Sadly, I've just talked to our TOC that just gave him the heads up. But you can see right there, one of the officers actually making their way over, moving the airbag, talking to that driver. Right now, it's kind of one of these things. We want to see we always want to see the cuffs go on the bad guy, but we really are concerned about this poor woman this afternoon that was involved in this crash. Basically, just driving. She had the green light. She was just going through that intersection. The pursuit made its way through there. Now, LAPD, were they in tracking mode? Were they not in tracking mode? That's the stuff for other people to figure out. Right now, though, an ambulance has been called, and 3 armed suspects are in custody.
All right, Stu Mundell live in Sky 2 over police pursuit that came to a crashing end in Leimert Park. Thank you very much for that update. In other news tonight, a secret marriage, accusations of domestic abuse, and a deadly house fire. Did one tragic incident in Orange County lead to the other? That's what detectives are trying to figure out after discovering 2 bodies in a burned out home.
A family member reveals what happened this weekend that might have started all this. CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen is live in Santa Ana now with more on the story. Jeff?
Juan and Susie, right behind us right now are a number of crime scene investigators in front of a home that burned earlier today. And that's because they are waiting for a search warrant to retrieve 2 bodies. In the meantime, neighbors and relatives have their suspicions. Heartbroken neighbors say their worst fears may have come true after crime scene investigators were brought into the Santa Ana home where 2 bodies were found. Fire crews were called here at 10:30 this morning. Relatives gave us these pictures of the owner of the house, Charlene Nguyen, who they say had been abused by her husband, who police identified as 40-year-old Ahmad Al-Assad. Nguyen's brother Scott asked us not to show his face as he talked about his brother-in-law.
He said that if we call the cops, he going to come back and kill everyone and burn down the house.
Scott says he went to the house on Saturday to deal with some plumbing issues, and he was surprised when he walked inside.
I saw my sister, her face bruised, so I knew that he beat her.
Santa Ana police confirm Al-Assad, seen in this booking photo, was arrested for domestic violence on Saturday, but he bailed out the next day. He was supposed to stay away from his wife because of a court-issued emergency protective order. Relatives say they only found out about the couple's marriage a few weeks ago.
He was originally a renter here, that they have recently been married.
Relatives say Al-Assad started renting a room at the house about a year and a half ago, which became an intimate relationship. This neighbor, who's known Nguyen for 30 years, says she was always afraid of al-Assad.
I know he bad guy, he no good. But I asked her, give away, let him move out, but she don't listen.
At this point, investigators say the cause of the fire and what led to the 2 deaths will take time to figure out. But relatives say they wish that Charlene Nguyen had listened to their pleas.
We tried to ask her to come to our house and live with us, but she refused.
And in addition to the couple, there were 3 renters inside that home. 2 of them were out of town at the time. The third managed to get out safely. Right now, investigators say that the 2 bodies were burned so badly they cannot make positive IDs. For now, we are live in Santa Ana. Jeff Nguyen, CBS 2 News.
All right, Jeff, thanks for that. A 9-year-old girl and a woman are dead after a suspected drunk driver slammed into their pickup overnight. It happened just before 1 this morning on the 22 freeway in Garden Grove. The CHP says a BMW was speeding in the HOV lane when it rear-ended a Lexus. The out-of-control BMW then slammed into an F-150 truck with the little girl inside. She died at the scene. A woman later died at the hospital.
It's preached over and over, don't drink and drive, drive safely, keep your speed down, and if not, situations like this are what occurs.
Well, cameras captured the 30-year-old suspected drunk driver resisting arrest. Well, despite handcuffs, he tried to kick out the patrol car's back window. He appeared to try to get away, but several CHP officers stopped him. They put him on a gurney and paramedics took him away. He has since been medically cleared. Tonight he's booked on felony drunk driving and gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated.
Let's take you live outside right now to Santa Monica, where it is pretty breezy out there. You can see that flag blowing in the wind right behind the Ferris wheel there. Well, today, of course, the big story is our weather. 2019 starting out cold and windy, forcing people to bundle up before stepping outside.
The winds created dangerous driving conditions today along the 15 freeway in Fontana as well. 2 big rig trucks toppled over along the freeway. One at Sierra, the second at Duncan Canyon.
Well, CBS 2's Garth Kemp is here now with a look at the conditions. Garth.
Yeah, not a major surprise what was going on out in Fontana. You always see the trucks out there, especially if they have empty loads in the back there. 57 degrees right now. Getting a little respite from the winds as we speak, but cold temperatures. The winds are going to re-pick up yet again. Still only in the teens to Big Bear City, 42 up in the Lancaster, 53 in Oxnard, and 54 right now across Sherman Oaks. Meanwhile, there's the offshore push, calmer right now, but we have extended out the wind advisories. The high wind warnings are extended out as well. A little improvement in some spots, but very, very cold temps coming our way tonight. We will show you all that, plus rain in the forecast just in time for the first weekend. Will it signal a change in the entire weather pattern? We'll show you all that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, Garth, we'll talk to you in a bit. The end of the Rose Parade goes up in smoke when a float breaks down and catches fire. The float broke down around 10 this morning. Fiesta Floats built the float commemorating Chinese-American railroad workers. It blamed an electrical issue for the fire and said the float was shut down as a safety precaution. We talked to a volunteer who spent 4 days working on that very float.
It's a little disheartening. A lot of effort was put into it. Obviously, a lot of fundraising. A lot of people came in. The lion dance was going to be beautiful. The singer, they wrote an original piece. Just the amount of work that was put into the float. We really wanted this to be a history lesson for America today. But hopefully, the attention will drive people to research it a little bit more, and maybe we'll get a second chance next year.
Well, despite it all, no one was hurt. The float was eventually towed off the parade route. That float breakdown actually led to some people thinking the parade was over. Parade goers then walked out onto the street, causing even more delays for the rest of the parade. Well, coming up at 5:30, we'll take a look at some of the other floats that appeared in this year's parade.
Outrage in a Salt Lake City community tonight. The woman involved in the kidnapping and rape of Elizabeth Smart is now living near a grade school. 73-year-old Wanda Barzee was released from prison back in September, 5 years earlier than expected. While she was behind bars, Barzee refused to cooperate with mental health professionals. Well, Smart has criticized Barzee's release, calling it incomprehensible, but it appears Barzee is living within the legal limits.
The mother of a murdered Texas girl is making an emotional plea for justice from her hospital bed. She wants her daughter's killer caught. LaPortia Washington is reeling over the death of her daughter. 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes died on Sunday. The mother and her 4 daughters were going to the store in Houston when a pickup truck pulled up next to them and started shooting. Washington was shot in the arm. Her 6-year-old daughter was hurt by shattered glass. and her teenage daughter told her Jasmine had been shot.
I turned around and my 7-year-old was shot in the head. He intentionally killed my child for no reason.
Police released security video of the red pickup truck. They say the driver is a man who appears to be in his 40s. He was wearing a red hooded sweatshirt.
It is day 11 now, the partial government shutdown.
President Trump appears to be dangling the possibility, though, of a deal.
CBS's Chris Holmstrom is here with a look at the developments on the shutdown showdown. Chris?
That's right, and there appears to be a meeting in the works between congressional leaders and also the White House. If so, it would be the first face-to-face meeting since the impasse. While an anonymous source on Capitol Hill spoke about an invitation, President Trump took to Twitter.
The invitation comes 2 days before the new Congress convenes. Today, the president tweeted, "Border security and the wall thing and shutdown is not where Nancy Pelosi wanted to start her tenure as Speaker. Let's make a deal." The incoming Speaker takes over a Democratic majority House on Thursday. Like the president, she responded on Twitter. She tweeted, "Trump has given Democrats a great opportunity to show how we will govern responsibly and quickly pass our plan to end the irresponsible Trump showdown." Meantime, on this 11th day of the partial government shutdown, time is running out for the Smithsonian. The world's largest museum complex will close its doors Wednesday to visitors, and the live zoo animal cams will go dark.
I'm disappointed that it came to this.
To close down culture and the arts for people, to affect people's paychecks and their salaries, it makes me a little uncomfortable as an American citizen.
According to its website, the Smithsonian has been operating since the shutdown, with funds from the previous year that have run out.
Funding the government is just a basic function, and it's disappointing that we're here again and Congress and the president can't seem to get it together.
We have to have a wall as part of border security.
President Trump issued a New Year's Eve video reiterating his demand to Democrats that any government funding bill must include money for the border wall. That same day, House Democrats filed legislation to reopen the government without adding new money for the wall. They intend to pass the bill when they take control of the House in 2 days, but the GOP-controlled Senate says it will not bring up a bill that doesn't have support from the president. Tourists, however, don't know when an agreement will be made.
I'm expecting a couple of more days of this going on and maybe weeks, unfortunately.
And for now, the shutdown continues.
Okay, so the longer the shutdown continues, the more furloughed workers are feeling the pinch. Well, now some workers, they're suing the government for making them work for no pay. Susie?
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, despite today's chilly temperatures, SoCal Gas is asking you to not turn up the heat. How long the request is expected to last.
Also, Pasadena is packed full of Buckeyes and Huskies today as Ohio State and Washington battle in the Rose Bowl. We're live with the Fan Frenzy.
And the new law that requires California pet stores to only sell shelter or rescue pets. What's behind the first of its kind law?